Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Aaron.
Aaron is right here, you guys. I was going to start at 10, but since Mark and Claire finished up early, I figured why not? Let's get the party started early. And since Mark and Claire turned their live stream into a drinking game, I figured I would do the same thing as well. Now, guys, you can't see it. It's off camera here, but let me share with you the selection that we have here tonight. This is all, of course, grape juice is what I'm talking about. We got a Basil Hayden's Dark Rye grape juice. We got a Bullet Bourbon Kentucky grape juice. We got a Knob Creek Kentucky bourbon grape juice. We got a Kraken Black spiced grape juice. And we got some Howler Head banana flavored grape juice. And we're going to start with the Howler's Head. So cheers, everybody. That is some mighty fine grape juice. All right. God, Mark and Claire's chats are so funny. They do such a good job. So let's see. Let's just jump in, you guys. Let's just jump in. It's Friday night. We're having fun. And here we go. So, by the way, when I say drinking game, all I mean is I drink. I don't have rules. I don't know how that would work. Maybe we'll figure out some rules as we go along. Remember the I grew up in a cult drinking game. I know that was one of the rules, Mark and Claire, anytime someone said I grew up in a cult. But it's not like I say that on accident. I say that on purpose. So if I make that a rule of the game, it'd be like, oh, hey, I want to take a drink, so I'm going to say that. But that's why I'm saying no rules. The game is we drink. That's the game. Cheers, everybody. All right, so let's see. Scrolling the chat for questions, we see Clearwater Chad here. Hello, Clearwater Chad. You guys can check out Clearwater Chad's YouTube channel. Very funny satire on Tampa Brad. Hello in Uruguay. How do you say this? Prof Sheldon. Professor Sheldon. I don't know, but there you go. Hello in Uruguay. All right, let's see. And, you know, it's okay to start this early because it's just a Q&A, and we're just BSing around anyway. Hello in Nebraska, Mickey Labenz. Hello, Mickey Labenz in Nebraska. Scrolling. Hello in Virginia Beach. Hello to Kim White. Oh, let's see. Goldie here. Goldie, the master moderator. Sorry about the confusion. What do I know? I grew up in New Jersey. No worries. Goldie, I think what happened is once I scheduled it, it sent out the notification to everybody that it was scheduled. But since I usually go live with no notice, everybody could be forgiven for thinking I was just going live. But, you know, that's how it goes. So. Okay, let's see here. Hello in Vegas. Hello, Maggot 1227. Hey, all are welcome, even maggots. Get the black shirt. Get the black shirt, guys. It used to be a black V-neck T-shirt. I actually upgraded to the black button-down. Figure it looks a little fancier, but if you look at my videos from back in like July, August, September, it was the black V-neck. And if you see me in real life, I will be wearing one of these shirts. It's not like I only have one of these. I've got like 10 of these. So, and it is my favorite shirt. And I've just gotten to a point in life where I go, why should I ever wear anything but my favorite shirt? So, you know, why? Anytime you get up in the morning or whatever, and you go to put on something, don't you want to put on your favorite shirt, your favorite pair of pants, your favorite hat, your favorite shoes? So why should you not always be able to put on your favorite shirt? That's how I think about it. All right, let's see. I see one question here. Kay Valco. I asked Mark and Claire the same question. Now that you're out, do you still think the psychs are evil? No, definitely don't still think the psychs are evil. I do have I do still have some carryover regarding taking the idea that psychiatric medication is very overprescribed. And I don't even know if I don't even know what the research indicates on that. Like, that's something that's stated as true in Scientology, just taken as a fact in Scientology. And also that was at a time in my life when a lot of people my age, Remember, I started working for Scientology when I was 12. So a lot of people my age, when I started to kind of get a lot of that propaganda from Scientology, were themselves still in school. And you would hear stories. But now that I even think about it, is it stories I actually heard, or is it stories I heard from Scientologists who claim to have heard stories of kids just being put on medication for pretty much anything and everything? So I definitely have an aversion to the idea of putting kids on medication. I think it's fair to say that with the advent of medication, more and more kids seem to be put on it. And you do sort of have to question which is the chicken and which is the egg. You know, is it a solution in search of a problem, or is it a solution that came about because of a problem? I don't claim to know the answer. I just know that I don't think I would ever put my kids on medication. But then again, I'm not speaking as someone who has kids that have had a lot of problems that, like, you know, I'm speaking from a point of only my experience. And I realized that that is a problem. If I had kids and there was some sort of behavioral problems and I just had absolutely no idea, you know, I'd already tried everything. You know, I'd already tried everything. And it wasn't just a matter of kids being kids. It was a matter of like seriously destructive, self-destructive behavior, destructive to other behavior. I'm not saying nobody should medicate their kids. Do you see, anyway, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. So even though I like to tell myself that I no longer have a fixed idea on the subject that I took from Scientology, I can't help but wonder if I do still have some lingering bias on it. But for what it's worth, I'm at least aware that I might have that bias, and choose to believe that it's not seriously affecting how I think about the subject. Thank you for the question, K Valco. Much appreciated. Scrolling. Maybe the game is I just take a sip after every question. Although sometimes I've done as much as like 50 questions, so that could get pretty interesting. All right, scrolling. Okay, let's see. Ron Merrick enjoying some Middleton grape juice over here. Well, excellent. Cheers to that. Everybody could use some good grape juice. Goes down smooth. Sure does. All right, let's see. Andrea Vasallo. Thank you, Andrea. Put a question in there next time. Happy to answer something. But thank you. All right. E.G. Johnson. If an SP says 1 + 1 = 2, does 1 + 1 = 2 for a Scientologist? Yes, in fact, it does. You know, the whole idea of how Scientologists think of SPs isn't that they're never capable of ever doing anything right or saying anything right. It's not like they think SPs are all wrong all the time. It's weird because in Scientology, they actually have what they call a technical definition of what a suppressive person is, like what's happening with a suppressive person, like in their mind. And then there's what I like to call the administrative definition of a suppressive person, which is we no longer like Joe Blow over here, and we don't want Scientologists to talk to that person anymore. And, you know, the technical definition of an SP and what I call the administrative definition of an SP actually have absolutely nothing to do with each other. And according to Scientology's technical definition of an SP, you could really only be an SP if you were someone who was, meaning your behavior would be such that you are actively trying to hold down everyone around you. You are trying to undermine anything that would ever make anyone around you more competent, more effective, more powerful, increase their reach. And in Scientology, that whole concept has been reduced down to this person has broken our rules and we don't think people should talk to him anymore. This is another thing that if Scientologists really allowed themselves the freedom to think about the material in Scientology that talks about suppressive persons, and they really think about it and go, does this really actually make sense? It really truly doesn't make sense. Thank you for the question, E.G. Johnson. Let's see. I see another one, but I'm afraid I might have skipped one. So let me just double check. Okay, here we go. RV at the beach. Well done, sir. Today live stream regarding 15-year-olds was awesome. Continuing the drinking game. Well, thank you very much, RV at the beach. That deserves a drink. Yes, I did a live stream with B. B is short for her real name, but I just call her B on YouTube. And yeah, just to kind of reference what this comment is referring to. We were speaking at some length about Scientologist child abuser Johnny Mauer. And I was having this conversation with B. And B herself, when she was only 15 years old, was a Scientology ethics officer at the Scientology organization in the Valley in Los Angeles. They call it the Valley Org. And we just sort of commented on the fact that it is not uncommon for young teenage girls, underage teenage girls, to be the ethics officers at Scientology orgs. And when you consider what is the job of an ethics officer, you will see that even putting an underage child, male or female, on the role of ethics officer is without question child abuse. And when you consider some of the specifics that that job entails, it is child abuse of a very specific nature. So it was a great conversation. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's actually almost a 1-hour live stream, so it's not short, but it was a good conversation. So thank you for that comment. Cheers. Okay. Here's the next one. Valerie Boljack says, in the 80s, 90s, yes, children were over-medicated. They tried that with my daughter, and I wasn't ever a Scientologist. There was no exam, just, hey, Ritalin. Yep, of course. Of course. And so, you know, when the research that I'm not familiar with is, well, I've never seen a single study on the subject of over-medication versus under-medication. I can't even begin to think of how you would construct such a study. How do you determine whether someone's over-medicated? How do you, or whether not someone, but a population is over-medicated? How do you determine that? How would you determine if a population is under-medicated? I have no idea. So, and that's why I start to go, any ideas that I have on the subject are almost certainly coming from a place of some bias. And so I just kind of go, who the hell cares? I'm not against the idea of people taking medication when deemed appropriate. That's actually what I was really just getting at there. So, you know, if someone was still going, oh, psychs are evil, then they would be really like Tom Cruise style. No medication is ever appropriate at any time, and nobody has ever been helped, you know, a la Tom Cruise talking about Brooke Shields with Matt Lauer in 2005. And that's definitely not how I think about it anymore. So thank you very much, Valerie. I'll drink to that. We're getting a little sloppy already. Okay. Okay. How do you say this? Wait, how do you say this? Aro Lewis K. Wait, Aro Lewis K. Aro Lewis K. That's close enough. Are you keeping numbers on the amount of people the Aftermath Foundation has helped escape in the past few months? Oh, well, we keep track of absolutely everything. I mean, for sure. You know, we don't necessarily keep a count of like every email that we receive. A lot of people ask for help in ways that are not necessarily helping them escape, right? So escaping is a very specific thing. And a lot of people ask for forms of help that don't rise to, I need help escaping. A lot of people just need someone to talk to. A lot of people need someone to just get something off their chest. A lot of people, we help people who've already left Scientology and haven't been able to find someone that they can talk to about their experience and stuff like that. We talk to and help people who are in every single stage of leaving Scientology. And sometimes we're talking to people who are even still in the Sea organization. So we certainly do keep track of it all. We don't necessarily keep it on a graph. You know what I mean? We don't like, I guess what I'm saying is we don't necessarily have numbers ready to go, but we have meticulous records of everything. Thank you for that question. Much appreciated. Rural SD lawyer. I choose to believe this is South Dakota. rural South Dakota lawyer. Question: it seems like your experience in the Church of Scientology was different from Marc's. For example, do you notice pop culture or trivia Marc has missed out on? Well, the one main way that my experience in Scientology was different than Marc Headley's is he was at the int base and I was never at the int base. Other than that, our experience was pretty much the same. But other than that, that's other than a lot. Like the int base was an extremely unique beast. Marc Headley has a lot of experience interacting personally with David Miscavige. I do not. But Marc Headley, for example, also doesn't have really any experience working at a Class 5 org. And so that experience is much different from the int base experience. So interestingly enough, though, Marc and I were both pretty much plugged into pop culture, even while we were like in Scientology. Like Marc had exposure to the outside world, even though he was working on the int base, because he was part of a shoot crew. At one point, he was part of a gold shoot crew, for example, and he would actually be sent out into the world to shoot things with the shoot team. Shoot meaning cinematography. So Marc's pretty good on pop culture. Marc's good on pop culture. Thank you for that question. I'll drink to that. It's almost gone already. Okay. So let's find the next one. Okay. Carla M. Forbes, any updates on the podcast yet? So the only question, you're talking about the podcast that I recorded in Austin. The only question that I failed to ask regarding the podcast, because honestly, it didn't even occur to me, is how many other ones of these have you already recorded and not published before mine? I very naively assumed that mine was the next one to publish. And I did not realize how many were pre-recorded. And I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask me, like, can you tell me when it's going to be ready? Because I'll tell you when we'll know it's ready. When it publishes. So I still don't know. But it'll be coming soon. All right, let's see. Oh, here's a fun one. William Decker, how's the jiu-jitsu going? Not very well, William. I'll tell you, it's not going very well. Between an ankle sprain that I had and a perpetually sore hip and a jacked up shoulder and lower back problems, in the last 2 years, I probably have not trained more than 15 or 20 times. And in the last 2 years. So I am a 4-stripe blue belt. And then I always feel bad if I start showing up to class just a few weeks before the next promotion ceremony. So I will specifically not make a comeback until after the promotion ceremony, because I don't want it to make it look like I'm just showing up because I'm hoping to get a promotion. And I think that there's already a promotion ceremony scheduled for early March. So after the first week of March, and then we're all going on a big family vacation. So it'll be the end of March before I start training again. But I'm committed to getting a purple belt this year. So thank you for asking. It is the most amazing and intense and excruciatingly exhausting workout you could ever have, is training jiu-jitsu. It's insane. Okay, so Jay Dice, careful. Tell us the drink is tea. YouTube dings for that. Exactly. It's tea. This is sweet Alabama tea. Okay, let's see. Andy Perez. If every Scientologist does auditing, is Miscavige auditing? If so, who is auditing him? Or is he self-auditing? Imagine the secrets in his folder. So every Scientologist doesn't do auditing. And I know that seems a little weird. It's like, what's the point of being in Scientology if you're not going to get auditing? There's not a lot of auditors in Scientology, which is a little silly. I mean, you're like, how could you ever have a lack of auditors? And yet there is a lack of auditors. And that's something Scientologists should question as well. In 1996, Miscavige said, anyone who's ever trained as an auditor before now has never trained correctly, and all those certificates are canceled. Everybody has to retrain. And then in like 2000, 12 or 13, he did the exact same thing. He said, everyone who trained since 1996, Your certificates are not valid. You have to retrain from the bottom up again. This is part of the reason why there aren't a ton of auditors, and there has not been since 1996. Okay. That being said, Miscavige. So as a Sea Org executive, it's not like you're being asked every day to go into an auditing session. Not at all. It was reported that for a long time, Miscavige was not letting anybody audit him. Mike Rinder clarified more recently that he almost certainly has finished 7 and done 8 on, received 8. And so he no longer has to get auditing, essentially. Yeah. I'm sure there are a lot of secrets in that folder. So I'm sure those folders are locked up under guard and seal and key and whatever. Kate's World. Have you ever met Grant Cardone? Is he as arrogant in real life? Yep. I met him once out in Los Angeles when he was on course. He was a student at one of the orgs there, and I had a roll over the course room. And when I say met, I'm pretty sure I didn't even speak to him. I just observed him from a distance interacting with the course supervisor. He is as much of a D-bag in real life as he is on the internet. That is real. That is legit. All right, next one. Ron Merrick, is there any connection or interplay between the demons mentioned in Dianetics and Thetans? Is there any overlap with demons from other religions? So, Ron, thank you for the question. So, I believe in Dianetics, he mentioned something called a demon circuit. He doesn't refer, it's not an actual demon. And so realize in Scientology, Scientologists believe anything and everything just comes down to the Thetan. There aren't different kinds of Thetans. There aren't different types or levels or hierarchies of Thetans. There's just Thetans. So if a Thetan is like being an evil troublemaker, getting up to no good, maybe that Thetan is behaving in a way and acting in a way that people would refer to that Thetan in other religions as demons. But let me make sure. Is there any overlap with demons from other religions? So a Scientologist would go, let's say, I don't know, what religion has demons? Does Catholicism have demons? Let's just pretend that it does, because I don't know. A Scientologist would say that the Catholics simply have it wrong, that it's just misunderstood. There aren't angels and archangels and demons and devils. It's just all Thetans. That's all. So I guess there is overlap in the sense that a Thetan would be a broad, all-encompassing term for anything. Ghosts, poltergeists, demons, angels, spirits, guardian angel, all Thetans. Just Thetans. Thanks for the question, Ron. That is some good grape juice. All right. Jason Polychron. What does the pyramid symbol I see everywhere, like on org edifices, signify? Dianetics. The triangle you're referring to is the triangle associated with Dianetics. And I believe that those 4, I think the triangle is like 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think in Dianetics, there was 4 dynamics. I could have that totally wrong. Obviously in Scientology, there's the 8 dynamics, but remember you had Dianetics. He wrote in 1950. He then wrote Science of Survival, which is kind of considered book 2 of Dianetics. And I believe somewhere in there, he might've started talking about the 4 dynamics of existence. God, I could have that totally wrong. If you guys, any former Scientologists out there who know the actual answer to the Dianetics, I do know that the triangle is Dianetics. I just don't know if it represents the 4 dynamics or not. Because yeah, I don't know what a triangle has to do with Dianetics. I just know that is a symbol for Dianetics. So anyone who knows the real answer, jump into the comments. And I hope the ammunition you require to clobber Scientology finds its way into your hands soon. Oh, it's in my hands. I've got so much ammunition. I mean, it's an ongoing process. There's not going to be one silver bullet that gets it done. But there are lawsuits in the works. You guys realize everyone the Aftermath Foundation helps to leave Scientology. We help direct them to the correct people and agents and agencies that they need to share their information with to participate in ongoing investigations of a various nature. And many of these people have lawsuits that you'll be hearing about soon. I mean, it's one of the reasons I sort of relish putting up videos every day, is because it's the opportunity that I need to, or that I give myself, to leak just devastating drips of information out there for David Miscavige, to ruin David Miscavige's day whenever the opportunity arises. So thank you, Jason. Much appreciated. Okay, I see one here from Stacy. Why? Hope that Sea Org people on the edge of leaving can see the immense support for those who get out and share their stories. Many thanks to all for the courage. Thank you very much, Stacy. And 100% what you're saying here is something that they do see when we help people leave from the Sea organization. 1-for-1, part of what helped them move along in their mental process and their decision-making process to leave and make that decision and be comfortable in making that decision is in part what they've seen on YouTube, on Facebook, other places on the internet of people who left with the help of the Aftermath Foundation and have shared their stories. And even just, it is Scientology's worst nightmare, really, for both me and Marc Headley and Mike Rinder to just be putting out all of this content in a way that doesn't just appeal to Scientologists, but appeals to a lot of people outside of Scientology, a lot of people, both religious, non-religious, people who've had experience with high control groups, people who go to school to study this kind of stuff. The fact that anyone stumbling into the internet on the subject of Scientology is going to run into me or Mark or Mike and hear about the Aftermath Foundation, it really is Miscavige's worst nightmare. Thank you for that, Stacy. Much appreciated. Amy S., hold on. Okay. Hey, Aaron, thanks for all you do. You mentioned weird YouTube shenanigans. I tried your suggestions, and I started getting new tags showing on your new videos that I haven't watched yet. Salute. Okay, so I'm not sure I get this. Hold on. You mentioned the weird YouTube shenanigans. I know what you're talking about there. I tried your suggestions. I started getting new when you see a video of mine that you haven't watched yet, it actually says new on it. That's great. That seems like that's a good sign. Glad to hear it. Thank you, Amy. Thanks for letting me know. Much appreciated. Uh-oh. I'm running low. Okay, so let's switch over to some Knob Creek grape juice. Hold on. Can't show this one. All right. There we go. Get in there. All right. Okay. Nothing like mixing and matching. Cheers, everybody. Oh, yeah. That's different than the banana Hallerhead grape juice. All right. Next one here. Juliet Crawford, my granddaughter, love watching. She wants to know if there is any way to get the children out of Scientology when their parents are in the Sea Org and not taking care of them. She would like to advocate for them. Okay, so you would never have a situation where a minor child is in Scientology but out of the Sea Org, and the child's parents are both in the Sea Org. That wouldn't happen. But let me think about this question in another way. Is there any way to get the children out of Scientology when their parents are in the SO and not taking care of them? There also aren't any young children in the Sea Org anymore. And when I say young children, I mean kids are not born into the Sea Org anymore. And you can't join the Sea Org anymore if you have children, because there's no cadet org. So the only way you could join the Sea Org with a child is if your child is, let's say, 15, maybe 16, and perhaps they have an equivalency degree, even from some like BS Scientology school, and you were joining the Sea Org together, and the child was actually joining the Sea Org proper. So I think the short answer to your question is no, but also that situation wouldn't really exist in this day and age. Thank you for the question. Very much appreciated. Terry Perry, what are you drinking, Aaron? And are you getting into the Hijack Scientology Super Bowl? I tweeted already and getting your channel out there. Well, Terry, you must have missed the beginning of the live stream. I named all of the variety of grape juices that I have here, which is about 7 or 8. And right now, so I finished the Howler Head banana flavored grape juice, and now I'm working on the Knob Creek Kentucky grape juice. So yeah, Mark and I, and we're going to try to figure out some way to hijack the Scientology Super Bowl mojo. So what was it, 1 or 2 years ago, Scientology, when their commercial ran, and their commercials just run in the local markets, they don't run nationally. And Planters Peanuts, the Planters Peanut mascot on Twitter, tweeted some shade at Scientology. Oh my God, it was so funny. And Scientology started trending because the Planters Peanut was making fun of it. And so what I really have to make sure that I'm all totally clear on is, what are the rules online and on YouTube surrounding the Super Bowl? Like, I'm under the impression you're actually not allowed to say that word. I think it's trademarked to such a degree that they will strike or claim any videos that even say that word. And I realize I just said it. I'm not going to say it again. But have you ever noticed, do you ever watch podcasts or commercials or anything where they use euphemisms for it? They'll say the Giant Bowl, or they'll say the Super Football Game. They'll say anything, but they won't say the actual name. And I think there must be a good reason for that. So if we're going to hijack Scientology's big football game this Sunday mojo, we have to figure out the rules surrounding it. But once we figure out the rules, we're going to do everything we can. Like, what I'd like to do is live stream their commercial. But in order to do that, you'd have to live stream the game, and there's no way that's allowed, I'm sure. So what I might do is, once they air their commercial, I'll go screen grab it and figure out something I can do with their commercial. Like I said, we've really got to figure it out. I'm not sure Mark totally has it figured out what exactly he even means when he says he wants to hijack this thing, but we're going to figure it out. Thank you for that, Terry. Much appreciated. I'll drink to that. All right, let's see. Lisa Whiffen, will you be doing a video about Cathriona White? So I don't think that I will be, unless I can find someone who was a friend of hers and wants to talk to me about it on video. So for those of you out there, Cathriona White was a Scientologist who was Jim Carrey's girlfriend. And Cathriona White passed away from, oh boy, I'm going to forget. She either died by her own hand, or it was simply an overdose, or it was both of those things, dying by overdose. I do have some inside baseball on that, because I do have a bunch of mutual friends with Cathriona White, but because I didn't know her personally, I wouldn't really want to do a video about it, mainly because I'm almost guaranteed to get an awful lot wrong. But if one of her former Scientologist friends wanted to discuss it with me in a video, I would 100% do it. I think by the time she passed, she was no longer actually going out with Jim Carrey, but they had been together for many years. And it was kind of a rocky, I think, on again, off again sort of thing. But yeah, Cathriona White really was a Scientologist, and she really was Jim Carrey's significant other for an awful long time, which is a little weird from a Scientology perspective. On the one hand, Scientology would love to bag a celebrity like Jim Carrey. On the other hand, I think Jim Carrey has a long history with the mental health field as a patient, if you will. And usually Scientology won't touch anyone like that with a 100-foot pole. Something tells me they might have made an exception for Jim Carrey, but even then, I'm not quite sure. Thank you for that question. Much appreciated. Jen Frolic. Have you ever heard from an OSA member assigned to watch your channel that ended up leaving Scientology? Nope. That's very specific, but no. It's funny. I've never heard. There's only one person I've ever heard of who was assigned by OSA to interact with the big bad SPs and ended up leaving Scientology. And that's Tori Christman. She has a great story that she tells about this. And she's literally the only one I've ever known to have such a story. So maybe one day, I think I probably did talk to Tori, I think once on my channel. Maybe I'll bring her back on and have her tell that story again now that I've got a much bigger audience. It really is a great story. Thank you for that, Jen. Okay, comment from Jane Mundale. Have you ever talked to a military vet who joined the Sea Org and then left? Did they have any unique experience or perspective? Love your work. So personally, I can't think of anyone who was in the military and then joined the Sea Org. But I do know of people who were in the Sea Org, left Scientology, and then joined the military. And I'm thinking of one person in particular. And I hope the day will come when I can interview that person on my channel and have them talk about the difference. And to be crystal clear, Sea Org members do not think they're like the military. Even though they've got the Navy-looking uniforms. Like a Sea Org member does not think they are trying to look like the Navy. Most Sea Org members have no idea what a Navy uniform looks like. I mean, the Sea Org uniform is also extremely similar to just a pilot's, a Delta pilot's uniform. It's sort of Sea Org members are under no illusions. They just think they're Sea Org members. So it's not even, they don't even spend any time talking about the military or comparing themselves to the military or studying the military. Nothing at all. All they study is Sea Org. So thank you for that question, Jane. Much appreciated. Wait, here we go. Oh yeah, that's different. I think I preferred the banana stuff. All right. Okay, Andrea Vassallo again. Thank you, Andrea. Put a question in there. Happy to answer something. Okay, I see Eva Bandana. NIO. I do not know what that currency is, and I'm not going to look it up right now. Have your stats improved after the YouTube F-up? I've seen a lot of non-mainstream creators have been affected by the YouTube views blackout. Eva, I think it is safe to say that my stats have not improved in general. They're pretty much just steady. And that's totally okay with me. It's a little frustrating to see videos just essentially completely die after 48 hours, no matter how good they are. That never used to happen. It never, ever, ever used to happen. I can now have a video get like 100,000 views in 48 hours, and then it will just essentially go to zero. And that's just not how the algorithm used to work. And it's not, it has to do with how YouTube is deciding what videos to serve up on the suggested, the recommended feed for viewers who aren't already subscribers. Yeah, so the change in viewership stats doesn't have to do with how many of your subscribers are watching your videos. Most of the stats on any YouTube channel are related to how much YouTube is pushing your videos out to people who are not subscribed, and that makes a big difference. So it's frustrating because it kind of sucks, but I don't really worry about it. But thank you for asking, much appreciated. Blown for good. Scientology After Dark. Any girl on girl interviews over here? Oh, Mark, you are sloppy, sir. Sloppy. Oh boy, nothing but a sausage fest over here, Mark. Thanks for asking. Oh lordy. All right, Paula Brown, thank you very much. Okay, what do we have here? Amy Lopez, do you know if Stan Booth is still in? I worked with Stan Booth. He was funny and surprisingly nice for an ESO member. He came to our org many times to put on events for ASHO. So yes, Stan Booth, I'll tell you. Should I say it? So Amy, if you know Stan Booth, then you know what I mean when I say his personality is really the main thing he had going for him, because other than that, you know how much emphasis the Sea organization and David Miscavige tends to put on physical attributes and characteristics and looks. And let's say Stan Booth, his eyes didn't really cooperate with him very well. Stan Booth, I think Marc Headley likes to describe them as mortgage eyes. One's fixed and one's variable. And in Stan's case, they were both variable. And what's amazing is that Stan had such an amazing personality and was such, I almost want to call him an entertainer or a performer. He was so good with people that even despite the fact that he could never look you in the eye if his life depended on it, he was always the guy that went out to do tours to the orgs to bring in new people to Asho. And he was great. You know, you say, is Stan Booth still in? I'm wondering if Stan Booth is still alive. God, I mean, I left the Sea Org in 2006. That's 17 years ago now. And maybe Stan just looked a lot older than he was. I'm not sure, but he wasn't a young man. So I will tell you this, I have no information on Stan Booth, but for all you, you know, Scientology folks out there, former Scientology folks out there, if you know anything about Stan, I would actually really like to know if he's around and how he's doing. Is he still in? Shoot me a message at growingupinscientology@gmail.com. Thank you for the question, Amy. By the way, like to know which org you were at. That would be interesting to know. Okay, Lisa again. Caterina was a Scientologist who was Jim Carrey's girlfriend who unalived herself. I haven't heard hardly anybody speak about it. Yeah, I think it's, you know, it's interesting. She wasn't someone that a lot of people knew. Like, I did not know her. We have a lot of mutual friends, but I only found out that we had mutual friends after Caterina passed, and I started hearing about Caterina from these people. I didn't actually know Caterina at all when I was in. So if I do find someone, and you know, for the same Scientologists, former Scientologists out there, if you knew Caterina, if you'd like to discuss her with me on my channel, just shoot me a message, growingupinscientology@gmail.com. Okay, I see another one here. Hold up, time out. Yeah, that one's a bit rougher. Okay, Maxwell Edison's mom. Maxwell Edison's mom. L. Ron Hubbard was too lazy to make different classes and levels of thetans. So just lump all the ghosts and demons and poltergeist into one category. What a crazy religion. I guess lazy is one way to put it. There's something to be said maybe for just simplifying the process and saying we are all the same. We were all once equally great. We are all now equally lame. And if you do my Scientology bridge, we can all become equally great again. Very simple. Very simple. Okay, Harrison S. See, this is a gotcha question. Did you do any DMT with the host of the mystery podcast you did in Austin? So you're asking if I spoke with the elves. You're asking if I spoke with the elves. I'm going to withhold comment because to answer, well, how about this? I can just say no. That's a fair one. I don't want Scientology to think they know exactly for sure who I did the podcast with, because I want them to kind of overreact and shoot themselves in the foot by sending a bunch of hate mail to like every podcast in Austin. And I'll tell you this, the person that I did do the interview with did give me their word that they would let me know of any nonsense that they get from Scientology. So if they let me know, I will let you know. Thank you for that, Harrison. That deserves a drink. By the way, I changed my microphone setting to near. It used to be far. I had it at far before so that I could just comfortably speak without speaking so close to the microphone. But I've also just wondered if whether I had better audio and less background noise if I changed it to near. So if you guys have noticed any difference in the audio settings between yesterday and today, let me know in the comments. Thank you very much. Okay, next comment from Passenger, shaming every time Grant Cardone speaks. My ears bleed profusely. That is all. 10x this, GC. Yeah, Grant Cardone is the gift that keeps on giving. I published something earlier. Was it yesterday? I can't remember. I think I published something yesterday. I published something yesterday on Grant, and then I made public another short video today about Grant. And guys, I have been getting so many back channel emails from people who've done business with Grant, invested with Grant. Some of the funniest stories are literal, actual billionaires, not the Grant Cardone, I'm a fake billionaire, but actual billionaires who were considering investing with Grant and actually did the sort of due diligence that seasoned, respectable investors do. And these people basically took one sniff of Grant's operations and said, you, sir, are an absolute joke. And of course, did not invest. And I've been getting emails from such folks with their stories. If I can figure out how to tell those stories without completely revealing the identities of the people who shared the stories, I will. But this is what I mean when I say Grant Cardone is not respected by his peers. It's another thing if the hate that you get is like gutter sniping from people who are jealous of you. Grant isn't respected by his peers. Grant isn't respected by the people in his industry who would maybe otherwise be mentors to him. Do you know what I mean? And he's not respected because he is a fraud and a grifter and a charlatan. And he happens to be a Scientologist as well, which is really the only reason why I talk about him. And thank God, too, because it's nonstop entertainment. Even though, honestly, my videos about Grant do not even do very well. But I'm going to keep doing videos about him anyway, because I think he deserves it. And I just care that much. Thank you for that. Okay, wait, let me drink to that. Okay, RV at the beach. Does Aftermath have enough volunteers? We all need to help with the curse of this cult. And drinking game, one more. Okay, so wait, one more. Here we go. So look, the Aftermath Foundation could never have enough volunteers. We have thousands of volunteers. If someone is like, do we literally have enough? Well, sure. Like, do we have enough that we're probably always going to be able to take care of anything that we need? Sure. But there's no reason we couldn't have 10 times more volunteers. 10x it, bro. So here's what it means to be a volunteer for the Aftermath Foundation. What it means is if someone is leaving Scientology in your area and some type of help is needed, would you like to be informed so that in case you happen to be able to provide such help at that time, you at least have an opportunity to say, yes, I can do it. That's literally all it means. And so if you would like to be on that list, email volunteer@theaftermathfoundation.org. Please don't message me. Like, don't send it to Aaron don't send it to me on Facebook, please. It's too much work. Email volunteer@theaftermathfoundation.org. Say, here's my name. Here's the nearest major city that I live, the nearest city, the biggest city that I live closest to. Here's the type of help I could potentially provide if somebody needed it, and just put me on your list. And yeah, so yeah, I'd say we probably have about 3,000 volunteers right now, if I had to guess. But you know, we could have 30. We could have more volunteers than there are 30,000. More volunteers than there are Scientologists in the entire world. How about that? Thank you for the question, RV. Much appreciated. 49ers. I'm Eagles all the way, bruh. Okay. I'm from Philly, and I am a proper bandwagon fan. So thank God they're doing good. So I have a football team to cheer for. Okay. Denver Stevo, hold on. Oh, wait, this one's gone too. Ugh. Okay, we're mixing and matching. How about some Basil's Hayden Dark Rye? Oh, this one's going to kill me. I don't want the camera to see it. Ugh. Bloop. Okay, hold on. Oh, can you guys hear that? All right, get it over here. Oh, all right. This is some good grape juice. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Nothing like mixing and matching grape juices. Whew. Wait, I need some. Hold on, guys. I need some water. Hold on. If I had some sort of an air purification system in here, I'd bust out the cigars and we'd really have a good time. All right, here we go. Denver Stevo. Hey, Aaron, have you ever licked the salt off a sleeve of saltines and then put them back so your coworker would eat them. Denver Steve-O, I am not a disgusting animal like that sick Marc Headley. I mean, did you hear what he did? Marc Headley tells this hilarious story. I think it's literally on the website that Scientology created to dump all over him. One of these Scientologists who did a video about Marc Headley literally tells a story of him as a child, like licking the salt off of crackers and putting them back so that other people would eat them. I mean, oh God, first of all, it's a really funny story. It's funny enough just thinking of a little chubby Marc Headley running around LA making trouble for people. Actually, I think when Marc Headley was little, he wasn't chubby. Even when Marc joined the Sea Org, he was skinny as a rail. When Marc married Claire, he was still skinny Marc. It's post Sea Org Marc, who is a pancake specialist and really likes packing it away. So me personally, I would never stoop to such depths of licking saltine crackers. But you know what else they accuse Marc of on that website? His mom tells some story of like, how Marc, as like a 10-year-old boy, she claims that they were in a swimming pool and he literally tried to drown her. I mean, imagine being a mother and you allow yourself to be convinced by Scientology to sit down and say stupid things like this on camera. Do you know what we should do? Me and Marc should do a whole series of reaction videos to the hate videos on our websites. Oh my God. That would be absolutely amazing. So no, I'm not a dirty salt lick, a dirty cracker. What? I can't say those words. Sorry. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Franny Galanders. Did LRH write about Alzheimer's or dementia? Does Scientology run nursing homes? Scientology does not run any nursing homes. And I do not recall anything L. Ron Hubbard ever wrote about Alzheimer's or dementia. That's a very simple answer. I feel like it's a little disappointing for it to be such a short and sweet answer, but that's just the truth. Thank you, Franny. Much appreciated. Grape juice break. Hold on. Okay. I'm warming up to that one. All right. Here's Ron. Ron, what is the latest on DM being served? Sorry if this has already been covered. No, it hasn't come up yet tonight, but that's okay. Thank you for asking. Where we're at on this is we are waiting for the magistrate judge, Julie S. Sneed. How did I remember that? I have no idea. I grew up in a cult. Hold on. That calls for a drink. Magistrate Judge Julie S. Sneed is set to rule on the issue of whether David Miscavige has been served. And there's actually just no way for us to know whether it's going to take 2 weeks or 2 months. We just don't know. Because the case itself is not hinging, meaning the progression of the case itself does not necessarily hinge on Judge Sneed making the ruling about Miscavige. Remember, it's the federal district judge. His name I'm not going to remember. He's the one who is set to make a ruling regarding the arbitration clause in this case. And that ruling is going to get made or not get made totally independent of this ruling on whether Miscavige is a party to this case yet. So I hope, I hope we learn in a couple weeks, though. I hope we learn in a couple weeks. But that is the update. The latest update is we're waiting to hear. Thank you, Ron. Much appreciated. That calls for a drink. Yep. I'm warming up to this one. Okay. Okay. Scylla Butler. Scylla? I think it's Scylla. Did you get my AI Muppet Miscavige pictures? Okay. I think I did, although I don't recall whether the email address it came from. I don't remember the email address. Like, your name isn't ringing a bell. I don't know if your name matches up with the email address, but I do remember getting some Photoshop pictures. Were those purely AI pictures? I've just been assuming that everything I get is Photoshop. Did you actually get the AI to create it? Can you resend it to me? Resend it to me at Growing Up in Science. Now that I have in my head looking for something that's AI generated, I'm gonna remember it. I've just been getting inundated with emails, guys. That's all I can do to keep track of the bare minimum. Like, the only emails that are guaranteed to get a response are the ones that are like, I need help leaving Scientology. Everything else is purely optional. So resend those to me, Sil. I'd appreciate it. Thank you for that. Scott Blanche. Hypothetical. Church of Scientology collapses tomorrow. What does the Aftermath Foundation have in place for this event? Any mass exodus? Well, I mean, look, we're not a prepper agency or something like that. Like, well, we don't have meetings about what are we going to do if we have to help 5,000 people tomorrow. I guess we'll hit up our volunteer list because it's not going to happen tomorrow. So it's a hypothetical. So it's a hypothetical question asking about whether we've put real plans in place for a hypothetical, unrealistic scenario. So obviously the answer is no. However, I would also say, realize that the Church of Scientology completely collapsing would actually be the best case scenario from the perspective of the Aftermath Foundation. Because one of the reasons the Aftermath Foundation even needs to exist is because of the fact that when someone is leaving Scientology, because of Scientology's disconnection and fair game policies, people leaving Scientology are usually losing everything they've ever known, meaning all the people they've ever known. But if the Church of Scientology itself were to actually collapse, then that means that the disconnection and fair game policies themselves would also cease to exist or be applied. There'd be nobody there to apply such policies. And therefore, the Aftermath Foundation wouldn't really have much of a role. It's not like people in Scientology just have no clue how to operate in the outside world. Most Church of Scientology staff members do, in some way, shape, or form, interact with the outside world for their very jobs. And there are exceptions to that, of course. But it is an interesting question, and I hope I've given you some food for thought on that. Thank you very much. Mark again. Oh my God, Mark, hang it up. I just said the brand and I got demonetized. Don't say the brand. Too late. Let me check the back end and see if anything's showing up on here. Nope, I'm still good. Maybe I'm more of a trusted, known commodity on YouTube than you are, Mark. I don't know what to say, bro. Although I did say that every single one of my brands is a brand of grape juice. See, that's what you messed up. That's what you messed up on, Mark. See, I've got some Howlerhead grape juice. I've got some Kraken black spiced grape juice. I've got some Knob Creek grape juice. You see what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. You got to figure out, you got to game the system. That's how you beat the man. Anyway, maybe you don't know why you got demonetized, Mark. There's no way to know why you got demonetized. You're just taking a shot in the dark. All right. Some more trash talking 49ers. Can we get some Eagles in here? We got any Eagles fans in here? Fly, Eagles, fly. By the way, David Miscavige is also from Philadelphia. David Miscavige is also rooting for the Eagles. So I guess that's unfortunate. Frank Fan Ranker, does DM drink alcohol? Yeah, DM drinks like a fish. He drinks scotch. And he's pretty much the only Sea Org member who's allowed to drink, apparently. What? Mark again. Wow, maybe it was the superb owl. That's what got me dinged. I told you guys, I think you're not allowed to make specific reference to that big football game that's coming up on Sunday. Except, Mark, I hate to break it to you, I did in fact already say that word twice on my stream, and YouTube at least is telling me on the back end that I am still monetized. Look, there's really no rhyme or reason to why YouTube will demonetize the live stream. But Mark, I did watch your stream. It was totally family friendly. Just do the little appeal process and it'll be found in your favor, I'm sure. I mean, probably half my live streams get demonetized. I do the little appeal. It takes them 12 hours and they come back and they go, sorry, you were fine. I said, yeah, you guys suck. So anyway, that's my advice, Mark. Okay, Terry Perry. I just bought my Mike Rinder bobblehead, and yes, I missed the beginning. That's okay. That's okay, Terry. I was over at Marc and Claire's channel visiting. Love you, Aaron. Y'all are doing amazing work. Well, thank you, Terry Perry. I love you too, bro. I mean, I'm assuming it's a bro. Right? Hold on. I don't know why I'm assuming it's a bro, because you don't meet very many women named Terry, spelled Terry. So I'm still going to assume it's a bro. I love you, bro. Thank you very much. All right, let's see. Scrolling down. Oh, what do we have here? Jeannie Engels. Jeannie Engels. Hi, Aaron. Is there somewhere that airline miles points can be transferred, donated to the aftermath? This would be great if it is established to get airfare quickly. Thanks for all you do. So, Jeannie, I certainly have not looked into that. I can tell you we've never done that. I can tell you that just logistically speaking, when people do ask, can I donate like clothes or a computer? Actually, computers are a great idea. We have accepted donations of computers. But in most cases, the way the Aftermath Foundation is able to act fastest is just with our own funds. So, but you know what? We do have a volunteer who is an expert on the subject of airline miles. And I'm going to ask him if there is some way that people can donate miles. And if that is, I was going to say more effective than donating money, but I just realized you'd be donating miles because you can donate the miles instead of money, and they're just as good, even if the conversion isn't always 1 for 1. So, Jeannie, can you please, as a reminder, email me growingupin.Scientology@gmail.com and just say, hey, can you find out if there's a way for me to donate airline miles? That's a really, really good question, because some people that I know just have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of miles that they're never going to use. So that would be really cool if we can figure that out. Thank you for that. That deserves a grape juice drink. Some mighty fine smoky grape juice. All right, Carrie Johnson. Marc said premarital relations is forbidden. How did your mom have various live-in boyfriends? Oh, shots fired, Carrie. Shots fired. Okay. It's it's only in the Sea Org that premarital relations is forbidden. And that is because on when the Sea Org was still on ships and L. Ron Hubbard was on the Apollo ship, the crew of the Apollo, because originally there was no such rule about premarital relations. Let's just say the Apollo turned into the Love Boat, and people were loving so much on the Love Boat that it was creating a lot of problems on people getting their jobs done. So L. Ron Hubbard decided he was going to have to step in and cut down on the love. So not so much love on the boat anymore, but staff members and public Scientologists are allowed to have as much premarital relations as they want. So thank you for that, Carrie. Excellent question. Thank you, Jim, for the super sticker. Throw a question in there next time. Happy to answer something. Okay, Sam, fan, can we please get a shout out to our dog, Ella? Absolutely. What kind of dog is your dog, Ella? Shout out. Hello, Ella. Woof, woof, ruff, ruff. One of these days, actually, so someone asked me just a couple days ago if I could bring my dog Goliath, the fluffy Labradoodle, onto the camera, onto the stream with me. And I said, the next time he gets a bath and a brush and he's all super fluffy, I'll bring him on camera. He just got a bath and a brush, and the groomers cut his hair. I hate when they cut his hair, because now he doesn't even look like Goliath to me anymore. But he is soft. He is fuzzy. He's not quite as floofy as he normally is. But if I can get him over here tomorrow, and if I'm doing some video, I'll try to bring him on camera so you guys can say hi to him. Even if it's a pre-recorded video, it'll be fun. Oh, wait, I saw another one. Oh, my God. Marc is out of control. Okay, Lorna, in Scientology, we were told that Jim Carrey had taken psych drugs and that he had criticized Scientology for that reason. Yeah, Jim Carrey might be the one celebrity that Scientology actually wouldn't want to touch. John Harbaugh, doesn't the Church of Scientology and its divisions have endowments to provide continuing revenue? Do you have any insight on the Church of Scientology in Columbus, Ohio? The building seems inactive. Continuing revenue to itself. Okay. Scientology does have investments. In fact, sometimes Scientology has bad investments. David Miscavige lost over $30 million of Scientology money on bad oil investments. He invested in some oil investments that were total frauds. It's not like he was investing in oil futures. He was investing in oil fields and oil wells that didn't even exist, and it was a total fraud. So I believe Scientology these days, you know what? Any answer that I give on this is not coming from like actual verified knowledge. It's only my opinion. And I'm not even sure what this opinion is based on. You know, the next time we do Mondays with Mark and Mike, let's ask Mike what the last time he actually knew. Did Scientology have anything that would be considered a risky investment, or was it all just CDs, treasury bills? Because my guess would be that right now, Scientology has all of its assets either in real estate or cash or guaranteed bonds, you know, low interest bonds. So that's my guess. Columbus, Ohio, you know, Catherine Olson, who might be here in the chat tonight. She interviewed on Marc Headley's channel with Claire today. She was working at the Columbus org when she escaped from Scientology with the help of the Aftermath Foundation. So, and that was like only like a year ago. So Kate would know everything you ever wanted to know about the Columbus org. And when you said it seems inactive, it's definitely active. In fact, it's one of the few Class 5 orgs that's actually staffed by Sea Org members, because there weren't enough Scientologists and enough staff members in that org to keep it going. They had to send in the Sea Org, and the Sea Org were supposed to replace themselves, but they've never been able to hire enough people to replace themselves. So I promise you the building is active in terms of staff members, but it's probably not active in terms of actual public Scientologists. One thing about grape juice really dehydrates me. All right, here we go. Cheers. Oh, that's the good stuff. All right, thanks, John. Much appreciated for that question. Let me find the next one. One curious owl. Have you been to the Camelback LRH house in Phoenix, Arizona? How did you know that I've been there? I have been there, and it is unbelievably unimpressive. The fact that Scientology has wasted money, time, staff in buying these properties that LRH happened to be at for 16 minutes, 65 years ago, and they rehabilitate the property and they stick a poor staff member there to have to give people tours. It's just a piece of crap house. There's nothing special about the Camelback house in any way, shape, or form. Nothing special about it at all. Even like as a person in present time, I would never want to live in that house. And what's the point of preserving? So look at this amazing house LRH stayed at. It's just a crap house. There's nothing special about it at all. So yeah, I actually got to go there as an award when I was in the Sea Org. And I was a staff member at the Advanced organization in Los Angeles. And they were having some competition for who could listen to the most L. Ron Hubbard lectures in a week. Who could be the first person to finish listening to this new lecture set that had been released? And I had all the time in the world at that point because I was screwing off most of the time. And I just spent all my time listening to the lectures instead of getting any work done. And ironically, I was rewarded for doing so. Because it was a whole day off. I mean, we drove from Los Angeles to Phoenix, Arizona. And as I sit here right now, I can't even remember. Did we go to Phoenix and back in one day? I don't even remember at this point. But my reward was being able to leave post and go from Los Angeles to visit the Camelback house in Phoenix, Arizona with 2 other staff members. We went as a group. And I don't have any recollection of staying at a hotel or anything. So we must have driven there, hung out for an hour or 2, and driven right back. So yeah, thank you for the question. And have you been there? Have you been to the Camelback house? That's my question to you. Oh, Amy, you were at CC Dallas. Really? Wow, CC Dallas. Someone's going to have to explain to me one of these days why there was ever a Celebrity Center Dallas. I understand Nashville. I understand Vegas. I understand New York. I understand Celebrity Center International. I've never understood Portland. I've never understood Dallas. I don't understand Dusseldorf, Germany, even Munich, Germany. Why were there celebrity centers in these cities? I have no idea whatsoever. Okay. L niche. LK niche. Is the K silent? What we need to know is the K silent? Okay. I don't have a question. Okay. I just want to let you know I love your channel and I love the good that you are doing to help the Scientologists get out if they want to. Well, you know what? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And, you know, this isn't responsive to anything that you've said specifically, but I just want to say, I really do. Okay. I'm going to tell a little story. I'm going to remind everybody, because I assume that on every video and every live stream, everyone's watching for the first time, right? The internet's 1 billion people. Never assume anyone's watched one of your earlier videos. From 1998 to 2000, 2 years of my life, I was still a Scientologist, but for these 2 years, I was living by myself in LA, and I basically had no association with Scientology for 2 years. That's a part of my story that I've told here and there, but most people wouldn't know that. During that period, I wandered into some of these websites, internet forums critical of Scientology. And in my mind, I'm still a true believing Scientologist at that time. But I wanted to see what people were saying about Scientology. And I read some of this stuff. And what I read, some of it was true, but I didn't know it was true at the time. But what I read was so, let's say, insulting to Scientologists. It was so over the top. It was so degrading. It was so ridiculing and mocking and hyperbolic that any of the truth that was in any of the stuff that I was saying was completely lost on me. All that was hitting me was, oh, it's just a bunch of bullshit. I guess it really is just a bunch of lying SPs on the internet. Now, I tell this story because I was in Scientology for another 14 years after that point. And yet, if at that point, 1998, 1999, if the stuff that I had encountered on the internet was stuff that I thought that resonated with me, oh, wow, that's really fair. Oh, that's true. Oh, I know what they're talking about. Oh, they're being very accurate. If the stuff I had encountered was of that variety, it might have saved me an additional 14 years in Scientology. And I'm telling that story because how I talk about Scientology on my channel, how I do any of my videos, is informed by that experience. I want Scientologists who watch my content to go, yeah, being pretty fair. He knows what he's talking about. Like, he's not lying. he knows, and he's pretty funny. I want my material to be something that resonates with them, that they can appreciate, that they can laugh with, and doesn't turn them off. Because I think that, at least when I started my channel, 7 or whatever years ago, I feel like that is what we were lacking in the world of Scientology. Content that was sort of designed to resonate with people who were still in, while at the same time being kind of funny and entertaining and interesting and informational to people who are never in. And that's at least what I strive to do. So when you say, love the good that you're doing to help the Scientologists get out if they want to, that's the part of your comment that made me want to tell that story, because I really do try to put out content that would help Scientologists choose to make the decision to leave if they wanted to. And it really is kind of icing on the cake that we also have the Aftermath Foundation that will also help them actually leave if they want to. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Okay, I see another one here. Wait. Cheers to that. Hold on. Some grape juice. Here we go. Okay. Scott Blanche, YouTube gets 45% of this post. Does Aftermath Foundation get the rest? First of all, Scott, I'm not sure YouTube gets 45%. It might be 30, 35, but no. If if you want to donate to the Aftermath Foundation, go donate to the Aftermath. Go donate to the Aftermath Foundation. The website is, hold on, I've got a little banner here for it. Oh wait, this is not even the right one. Okay, the website for the Aftermath Foundation is theaftermathfoundation.org. Just follow the instructions. You can make a donation. Or if you would like to support the foundation financially, but you'd also like some sweet merch, then go to the spshop.com. Get yourself either a Mike bobblehead. Wait, I can double fist this bad boy. Hold on. Get yourself a Mike bobblehead or an SP bracelet. 100% of the proceeds from the SP shop go to support the Aftermath Foundation. So yeah. No, don't send me a super chat and expect that to go to the Aftermath Foundation. That's way too much work. Thank you for that, though. Amy S., I see your $2 super sticker. Throw in a little question next time. Okay, Jerry Nodine. Aaron, be careful with that grape juice. It might make you want to go kick Hulk's butt. Grape juice equals superpower. Indeed, let me tell you, the Hulkster was supposed to, you guys know that I'm beefing with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's beefing with me, I should say. Hulk Hogan was supposed to provide evidence to YouTube like 2 or 3 days ago of an actual lawsuit against me if he wanted the video he copyright struck on my channel to stay down. I haven't heard anything about it. So I emailed YouTube today. I said, yo, bro, what's the deal? The day has passed and the video is still down. Are you going to put the video back up? Or did the Hulkster send you guys evidence of a lawsuit? If so, please let me know. So I should be able to tell everybody soon whether I succeeded in winning the Royal Rumble with the one and only Hulk Hogan. Oh, yeah, brother. All right. Thank you, Jerry, for that. Gary Moorhead, as I sit here with you now, talking with my disconnected mother. No. Gary, don't make me cry on a live stream. Oh, my God. Are you serious, Gary? Holy shit, brother. Damn, that's heavy. Wow. All right, I'm going to call you tomorrow, man. I want to hear the details. That's incredible. Oh, my God, Gary. I've got to know how that happened. I must be really late on the chat, too, because your chat was a half hour ago already. Boy, I must be going really slow. Oh, my God, that is incredible. By the way, Gary Jackson Moorhead, everybody, was you might know him from one of the seasons of Scientology in the Aftermath. At this point, I can't even remember which season it was, but Gary has also been helping us big time with the Aftermath Foundation. He's one of our most active volunteers, and we call on Gary a lot. So, wow, Gary, that's big news to be dropping in the chat, brother. That is amazing. All right, well, I'm going to call you tomorrow, and you better tell me all about it. Cheers. That deserves another one. My God. Okay. Eva Bendana. N-I-O-R. I'm going to say this right. Cordobas. N-I-O-R. Cordobas from Nicaragua. Huge fan. Eva, always amazing to hear from fans from Nicaragua. Admittedly, you're the first fan I'm hearing from Nicaragua, but that's amazing. Now, look, I grew up in a cult. Okay, geography is not my strong point. I'm going to guess that Nicaragua is in Central America. Okay, so now I'm going to actually look it up. Where is Nicaragua? If I get this right, oh my God, I got it right. Nicaragua. Nicaragua is indeed in Central America. We can all drink to that. Even people who grow up in cults can know that Nicaragua is in Central America. Uh-oh. No more grape juice. Okay, so let's go to some black spiced grape juice. I don't want to show the bottle. All right. Nothing like mixing and matching proofs and all sorts of stuff. Oh, boy. Tomorrow's going to suck, you guys. Thank God it's Friday, right? Whew. Okay. Cheers to Nicaragua. Oh, it's going to be a tough transition. It's going to be a tough transition to the black spiced grape juice. Oh, for the love of God. Okay. Back goat skull. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Dana Thomas. I was recommended an official Scientology video for the first time after years of watching Scientology content on YouTube. Is the surge vids from you, Marc et al. Forcing Scientology to pay more to promote their stuff? That's a really good question. Since I've never, hold on, need a little bit of water. Since I've never paid to promote videos on YouTube, I don't really know how the pricing structure works. But the idea that there might be more competition for the Scientology viewership and whether that increases the prices that Scientology has to pay to promote their videos, that's a really interesting thing to consider. I don't know anything about how the internet ad space works. I mean, you'd think a content creator for YouTube might know something about that, but you really don't have to know anything about that whatsoever. And therefore I don't. So, but I'll tell you what, any of you internet, internet marketing experts, CPM experts out there, does the fact that we are generating so much Scientology content, would that be forcing Scientology to actually pay more to promote their stuff? That would be really interesting. Danny Crook, friendly neighborhood cigar nerd here, wondering how Scientology explains away apps like BetterHelp that are psyching people for pennies on the dollar. Do they explain why the tech can't help anyone already impacted by the enemy? So Danny, thank you for the comment. Much appreciated. It's really quite insidious. It's not that Scientology thinks they can't. It's actually even worse than that. L. Ron Hubbard says, sure, we could help those guys, but we're not going to. We'll get around to them afterwards. After all those guys are making our jobs harder. Why should we help them? Like, really, it is like, it's the most unreligious way of thinking. And yet that's how Scientologists justify it. Oh, sure, we could help the crazies, but why bother? We'll get around to them when after we've gotten the show on the road, since they're making our job harder. I'm not exaggerating. And any of you Scientologists watching this video know that's the God's honest truth. I mean, there's literally an interview where L. Ron Hubbard says, we could help the insane, but it's a waste of time. Why bother? We'll leave that to the psychs. So, but as far as explaining away BetterHelp, that's actually very easy. So Scientology doesn't claim that it charges high prices because it has to. Scientology does know that it could lower its prices. This is probably one of the biggest areas of cognitive dissonance within Scientology because, in the late 80s, there was a specific period, I believe it was in the late 80s, where it was announced prices are going to very markedly increase. It was, I'm going to get the numbers and the dates on this wrong, but I at least have the concept right. They were going from a relatively low level of pricing to a high level of pricing, and it was announced in advance that in like, I'm totally making this up as far as the details. Okay, in January, prices are going to go up 20%. In February, another 20%. In March, another 20%. In April, another 20%. Like, there was a very relatively short period of time where prices in Scientology went up huge, but they stepped up month, so that everybody could do a buy. The registrars could do a buy. You have to buy now because it's going to go up 20% next month. You have to buy now because it's going up 20% next month. and they went to a level where it went up so high that Scientology became unaffordable for most people. And there have been price increases since then, although not in quite as egregious a manner. But my point there was really that Scientology doesn't have to explain to Scientologists why there are cheaper alternatives in the field of mental health. In fact, it almost feeds into their conspiracy theory way of thinking that getting help, getting mental help in the mental health arena has gotten so cheap because, of course, the powers that be who are pulling the strings on planet Earth would want psychiatric help to be so cheap so that everybody could get it, so that they could enslave the entire population. So Danny, it's almost kind of gross to say that it almost feeds into the conspiracy thinking of Scientology. But excellent question. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, what's next here? I've never been a fan of the spiced grape juice. Oh, Jesus, why did I pick this one? Oh, not a fan. Not a fan. Okay, Ron, I know your stated goal is that any Scientologist still in would listen to you because you're not overzealous with criticism. Are you concerned that making fun of DM's height might put them off? Excellent question. The answer is no. I'm not concerned about that. Anyone who's starting to doubt Scientology has already started to doubt David Miscavige. Because usually doubting David Miscavige is the first step to actually doubting Scientology. If you're still doubting Scientology, you're not a lover of David Miscavige. Plus, it's just kind of funny. And to some extent, you just have to fall back on the comedy of the whole thing. So most Scientologists who've only seen David Miscavige on stage and have never met him in person, they actually have no idea how small he really is. And I mean, I put myself in that category. I've never been close enough to David Miscavige that I've been able to tell that he's smaller than my 12-year-old daughter. So actually, I'm going to take it. If you have not checked out the YouTube channel of Apostate Alex, go check out Apostate Alex's YouTube channel and subscribe. He did a really funny video about David Miscavige at an event showing David Miscavige, when he does these live events, he speaks at a custom-built podium that is built specifically to make David Miscavige look like he's a normal-sized person. And Apostate Alex does a video showing what Miscavige looks like at this podium where he was speaking at an event where other non-Scientologist people were speaking, including some basketball players. The podium they built for David Miscavige comes to above his waist, and on the basketball players, it comes to about just above their knees. It's hilarious. So this was kind of a long-winded answer to, Ron, you're always going to be sacrificing, you sacrifice a little bit here to get a little bit something there. I simply have fun teasing Miscavige about his height. Is there a chance that could turn off some people? Yeah, there's a chance, but I just enjoy it so gosh darn much. And it's just such a small piece of what I do compared to all my Scientology content that is incredibly accurate and fair, that it's a trade-off. It's a risk I'm willing to take. Thank you for that. Devin Laura, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. We aren't friends anymore. But Devin, I said I'm a bandwagon Eagles fan. I am equally as much of a bandwagon Cowboys fan. Okay. And I would have enjoyed seeing the Cowboys. No, I'm totally lying. I don't like the Cowboys. What am I saying? Oh, the truth is, I don't actually care much about sports at all. I played baseball when I was younger. I played football when I was younger. I just do not care that much about sports. So I'm a bandwagon fan, no matter what sport we're talking about. Thank you, Devin. I appreciate it. All right. Kitty Mom, just for being an Eagles fan. I'm from PA and lived and worked in Philly and its suburbs for 15 years. Awesome, Kitty Mom. So I sort of grew up in Malvern, Pennsylvania on the main line there. I say grew up. It's funny when I actually think of it. I was only in Malvern from 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 4 years. But I was only 13 by the time I left Malvern and never went back. So when you consider that when you're 13, 4 years is a third of your life or close to it, guys. I apologize. I grew up in a cult. Hold on. When you're that young, 4 years is like an eternity. So I say that I grew up in Philly. I say that I grew up in Malvern, but I spent almost as many years in South Jersey, in Haddonfield, New Jersey. I went to the Van Sciver Elementary School in Haddonfield, New Jersey. In Malvern, I went to the Katie Markley Middle School, and Katie Markley. I would have gone to the General Wayne High School, but I didn't go to high school, guys. I grew up in a cult. Wait a second. That's a drink. So, yeah, anyway, that was just an excuse for me to mention specifically Malvern. And I bought my first house up in Olney in North Philly. Olney by Broad and Olney, right by the Broad and Olney train station, bus station. So if that gives you a little additional reference point. And of course, I worked in downtown Philly forever at the Philly Org on 13th and Race Street. So there you go, Kitty Mom. Thank you. That deserves another drink of grape juice. Okay, let's see. Ron Merrick, does Scientology acknowledge L. Ron's association with Jack Parsons and the Agape Lodge? How has Scientology attempted to defend or explain it, if at all? So 100%. L. Ron Hubbard loved talking about this stuff. L. Ron Hubbard loved talking about his interesting life and all these people he knew and all these people he met. I think the way Scientology explains the Jack Parsons and the Aleister Crowley thing is that the government sent L. Ron in as an undercover secret agent to break up the black magic sex cult that they thought Jack Parsons was associated with. Now, in reality, all L. Ron Hubbard was trying to do, all he was able to accomplish with Jack Parsons was to steal his girlfriend and to steal his boat. LRH absconded with Jack Parsons' girlfriend. I believe that was Sarah Northrup, right? By the way, of the Northrup military industrial complex family, Northrop Grumman, I believe it's the same. I believe Sarah Northrup's father or uncle is the Northrup of the Northrop. You know what's the military Northrop? Jesus, these companies have all merged. Northrop Grumman. I've never known whether this was pronounced Grumman or Grumman. Northrop Grumman. Yeah. So anyway, LRH stole Jack Parsons' girlfriend and he stole his boat. How much more disgusting can a man get? You steal a man's girlfriend? You steal a man's boat? I mean, that's worse than a country song. I mean, come on now. There are many LRH lectures where he talks about Jack Parsons and Aleister Crowley, and he was happy and proud to talk about it. And sometimes people will ask, is there any of that black magic stuff in Scientology or whatever? And all I would say is Scientologists don't believe in any of that. So it almost wouldn't matter. It almost wouldn't matter. Earlier in the Q&A, I know it's been an hour and a half now, but we talked about how everything comes down to the Thetan. Black magic isn't even a real thing to a Scientologist. It's just something somebody made up and it doesn't mean anything. So there's no reason in the world of Scientology for LRH to soft pedal or even back pedal on any of his Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley stuff. So, but great question. Thank you. All right. Terry Perry, we need a bobblehead of you and Mark. Just saying. And have you tried American honey? Oh, that sounds delicious. I'm a big fan of anything that's honey flavored, to be honest. And I got to tell you, this black spiced rum is as far from honey flavored as you can get. So I'm pretty much over it. But I'm going to try some American honey now that you mentioned it. And now that Mark and I have our own channels, Remember when we first started the bobblehead, a whole thing, the only thing there really was the Aftermath show. And of course, Mike was, the co-host of the Aftermath show. Mike was who everybody knew. But now that Mark and I have our own platforms, it's bobblehead time. These heads were made to bobble. Oh my God. I was sitting across from just a stranger in a public area the other day, and the guy said to me, I swear to God, this is not a joke. He said to me, if I had a head shaped like yours, I would shave it as well. People do comment on the remarkable symmetry of my head. And I think it's time we made a bobblehead. And you know what? We're going to need a Claire bobblehead as well. But I will say this for the record. For some reason, the bobblehead companies have a really hard time making bobbleheads that look like women. It's the only reason we haven't been able to produce a Leah Remini bobblehead so far. They cannot give us a Leah Remini bobblehead that does not look like a WWE wrestler on steroids. They just don't know how to make a female face. They just can't do it. But if they can figure it out, in the near future, you might have an Aaron bobblehead, a Mark bobblehead, a Claire bobblehead, and a Leah bobblehead. Now, wouldn't that be amazing? Okay. All right. We got to move along here. Ron Merrick. Next up here, Elijah Craig 18 or McAllen. I'm McAllen all day. In fact, that's what I was actually looking for tonight. I usually get McAllen 15. I don't think I've ever gotten the 18. And I was just fresh out of McAllen grape juice. So, and I got to be honest, I don't think I've ever had Elijah Craig. So I'm a McAllen guy all day for what it's worth. All right. Blazin 666. You said a while back that you'd reach out for Devoct for an interview. Did he decline in the end? Full disclosure, I just haven't messaged him. I'm so freaking busy these days. There's so much going on, not just all YouTube related either. I just literally have not messaged him. But Tom Devoct, if you happen to watch my videos, gosh darn it, I want to do a video with you. And now I just saved myself a phone call. So hit me up, buddy. Let's do a chat. It'd be a lot of fun. But now that Mark and Claire are doing interviews as well, they could interview him. And Claire's probably a much more sweeter, nicer person to interview Tom anyway. No, I'm just kidding. He can interview with all of us. All right. Scooter G, shots fired. T. Ortega appears to be a slimy grifter. No question. Noted. And we'll leave it at that. Scylla Butler, yes, pictures were pure AI. Just sent an email again. Awesome. Thank you so much. Amy S., thank you so much. Kathy Ann, have any volunteers been harassed by Scientology after helping someone escape? Have somewhere to stay, get somewhere? No, none of our volunteers have ever been harassed by Scientology. Oh, wait, I see Mark. I just saw Mark again. Mark contributed an LOL. Thank you, Mark. Admittedly, that was 30 minutes ago. Okay, I'm really behind in the chat. Holy crap, you guys. Grand Theft Original. Why always restored buildings and not new buildings? Actually, that's a really good question. At this point, it'd be faster to build new buildings than it would be to restore some of these buildings. There's no good answer to that question. Dub Bears. Dana Thomas. Dub Bears. Everyone's got to love Dub Bears. Love it. RV at the ranch. Ouch. Mark said the SM. Oh, yes. Look, Mark has no way of knowing that that's why his video got demonetized. Honestly, YouTube will demonetize a video for literally no reason. That's just the truth. You have to appeal it. Blown for good. Mark is off of his rocker tonight. Wendy Adair. One of my stepmothers was a woman named Griffee. Griffee Blythe was your stepmother? She was in LA and San Diego when she was married to my father. She was wild. Wait. If your stepmother was named Griffee and she was in Scientology, it had to be Griffee Blythe, unless you're just telling me a story about a wonderful woman named Griffee who was never in Scientology. Unfortunately, Griffee is dead now, but boy, if she was alive, she would have stories to tell. Let me tell you something. Terry Perry, nope, not a bro. I knew it. I knew I had it wrong, Terry. I knew it. Somehow I just knew it. Apologies. I should not have assumed your gender. Okay. When you sign up to help the Aftermath, do they contact you to let you know if you were accepted or do they just get a hold of you when they need you? On the front end, just send in your info. Your info will be added to the list. Now, you might ask, how can you be sure Scientology is not infiltrating you? As far as the front end, we do assume Scientology has infiltrated that, and we act accordingly. So just send in your info, and we will take it from there. Blown for good. Mark's wasted. Mark's wasted, but he paid for that super chat, so it's going up there. Okay, Marty Trout, do you know if Leah is going to do more shows? I doubt at this point that Leah is going to do more shows, but Mike and Leah are launching their own YouTube channel, which is where it's really at anyway. This is new media. YouTube is the new media. Screw Netflix, screw Amazon. Don't screw A&E. They did a good job with the show. YouTube is where it's at, and Mike and Leah are starting a YouTube channel. Jennifer M., any update on baby boy Hulk? That baby boy Hulk. Yeah. So the Hulk, he had until 2 or 3 days ago to file a lawsuit if he wanted to keep the video down. I've not received any word of the lawsuit. I expect to hear from YouTube pretty shortly about what's going to happen. Okay. Geekroid, does DM have an elite security team? Are they Scientologists? He does have Scientologists on his security as well as non-Scientologists. Oh boy, blown for good. With Scientology's luck, they probably loaded up on FTX. Indeed, I'm still 30 minutes behind in the chat, so I'm going to speed up here really quick. Jason Polychron, thoughts on Monique Yingling, her importance? Monique doesn't have any actual importance. It's just someone who can have plausible deniability that Miscavige trusts, but she doesn't have any importance in the grand scheme of things. If Miscavige were to die tomorrow, Monique's not taking over or anything like that. Chase Britton, thank you so much. Passenger shaming, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. Our Church of Scientology is active AF. Really? It's packed daily until midnight. Oh, stop it. No, it's not. It's packed daily until midnight. It is busy all day, every day. Well, first of all, Scientology organizations aren't open until midnight, so I am going to categorize this into the bucket of satire. And it's a good one, though. I'm not going to lie. That's good. The fact that anyone would claim a Scientology organization is busy is that shows some comedy chops. Thank you, PS. Okay, Ron. Yes, please. Try to get some old guard folks on your channel. Absolutely. Tori, Stacy Brooks, Jesse Prince, Mark Bunker, Lawrence and Astor Woodcraft, Hannah Whitfield, 100%. And also, even this very idea of everyone that you've just mentioned doing interviews, the fact that there's getting more and more, the fact that there, more and more YouTube channels are popping up, makes it even more likely that fantastic interviews will be done with all of these people. Because what if half the people you just mentioned don't like me for some reason and they wouldn't want to interview with me? Well, everybody likes Claire. Maybe they'd want to interview with Claire. Maybe 5 more channels will pop up tomorrow. So I like the fact the more channels there are, the better, because I like when people aren't in a position of sort of being a gatekeeper. Do you know what I mean? And this in Scientology land, there's kind of always been 1 or 2 gatekeepers, and that's not good for the entire movement. So that's why I encourage more and more people to start doing channels. And anyone that wants to start a channel, I will also do anything that I can to help raise the profile of that channel. But I totally agree with you, Ron. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Okay, let's see if I can catch up here. Gina, thank you so much for sharing so genuinely and frankly with us, longtime supporter. Well, thank you so much, Gina. I really appreciate it. And I'm still 30 minutes behind. Do you have any info about the Scientology Center on Yonge Street in Toronto? Actually, this week, somebody sent me a whole bunch of photos of that exact location in Toronto. The place looks like an absolute graveyard. It's completely empty and desolate, but that's true of all Scientology organizations at this point. I mean, just look, just this morning, they cut off the power at Johannesburg North. There's 2 orgs in Johannesburg, one in Johannesburg, one north. They cut off the power because there's so few Scientologists there. They can't even make enough money to pay their electric bill. Joburg North owed $50,000 on their electric bill, and they had their power shut off today. Absolutely incredible. Denver Stevo, Aaron doing the super grape juice rundown. You know what? That deserves a grape juice drink. So good. So good. All right, let's go. I'm trying to catch up, you guys. Okay, well, this is good. All right, put Advil, not Tylenol, and water ×2 on your nightstand. I'm a big fan of the Advil. In fact, I took 3 Advil before I started the live stream. That's how much of a fan I am. Me and Advil have a very good relationship. Okay, Amanda Norton. Why would Hulk Hogan join Scientology? He's got to be in his 70s, and he couldn't make it to OT8. Why do some men do anything, Amanda? I think that question just answered itself. You've seen Hulk's girlfriend, right? Okay, that's the answer. All right. Jason Windsor. Scientology would only pay more to advertise if someone else is buying ads using the same keywords. Okay. All right. Organic interest probably isn't raising the bid. Yep. That makes a lot more sense. And who the hell is going to buy any ads using the keyword Scientology? Like, really, nobody. Denver Stevo. So wait, wasn't it Sky's last boyfriend who decked you last year for calling her crazy hot? What's with you and Sky's men? I did not call Sky crazy hot. The guy next to me at the bar called Sky crazy hot. I called her crazy. And yes, it would have been a much better story if Hulk Hogan had been the one to punch me in the head than her tiny little at that time boyfriend. That James Hunsinger, you son of a bitch, just join staff when you can't afford it anymore. James Hunsinger was on staff in Philadelphia with me at the Philly org, and we even had a chance to connect up in Colorado, I think it was a handful of years ago. James, so good to see you here. Yeah, so yeah, I wish I guess I'm on a 2 for 2 now for having beef with Sky's boyfriend. So there you go. What can you do? Dodge Landisman, Dodge the one and the only. Aaron, I let you know elsewhere, but curious if you're aware of comedian Eric Andre's Scientology bit from 10 years ago. If not, you and the audience would get a kick out of it. Dodge, did you, if you sent me some email or message about this, I do not remember seeing that. So I love Eric Andre. He's hilarious. And if he's got a Scientology bit, I have got to put that on my list right now. And I don't want to forget it. So give me a moment here while I stare off into space and add that to my list of video ideas. Eric Andre, Scientology bit, 10 years old. Boom. Okay, I'm back. By the way, Dodge, for all you watching, Dodge is the journalist in Yuma, Arizona, who Scientology got fired for writing an article about Lisa Marie Presley. And Dodge is going to be covering the Danny Masterson retrial. There's a hearing coming up on February 16th for the Danny Masterson, the second trial. Dodge is going to be there. Check out, let me pull up Dodge's YouTube channel real quick. It's harder because of all that grape juice, you guys. I'm doing my best here. Okay. Dodge Landisman. Okay. That's him. Boom. Okay, good. We're going to share this. Hang tight with me, guys. I'm doing my best. Okay. Okay. This is Dodge's YouTube channel. He is going to be the new go-to reporter for all things Scientology and Danny Masterson. And yeah. I guess that's all I can say for right now. But anyway, show Dodge some love. Subscribe to his channel. As Dodge does coverage of the Danny Masterson trial, he's going to be producing content. Hopefully, I don't mean to speak for you, Dodge, producing content for his own channel. And then I'm going to be interviewing. He's going to be attending all the Danny Masterson hearings and attending in person. And I'm going to be interviewing him on my channel each day that there's something to report on this. And then I'll also encourage you guys to check out the content that he produces for his own channel on that subject. So very much looking forward to that. Thank you, Dodge, for jumping into the chat. Always good to hear from you. All right, I'm doing my best to catch up here, guys. That's 11, 22. Okay, I'm about 20 minutes behind. Woof, woof, Ella, go to bed. Night, y'all. Okay, I got no idea what that's about. Hold on. Woof, woof. Who the hell's Ella? Who the hell is Ella? All right. Churs OC. Aaron, we've watched you slowly morph from a light a lighter shade of pale to a healthy rosette. 10x. Oh, I thought your comment was going somewhere completely different. But cheers, Churs OC. I don't like that spicy grape juice, but I'm taking it for the team. Oh, boy. Nasty Nathaniel, always a pleasure to see you in the chat, buddy. And, hey, hit me up. Let's talk soon. Actually, call me tomorrow. I want to talk about some stuff. All right, Backgoat. 1 for AA Ron, 3 for chat. All right. 1 for me. You guys will have to take care of the 3. Okay, I'm catching up here, you guys. I'm doing it. 1 Curious Owl. LA Org is rewarding parishioners, staff with a chance to go to the Camelback house if they get on a bus and hand out promo at the Giant Bowl this weekend. Oh my God. Almost 20 years later, and they're still trying to reward Sea Org members with the opportunity to go see this shitty house LRH lived in 60 years ago in Phoenix, Arizona. I'll tell you, if I was a Sea Org member, I'd be more motivated by just one evening at In-N-Out Burger. Yeah. Oh, wait, I see. Oh, wait, Mark's in the chat again. LRH had no bro code. Yeah, bros don't steal other bros' women. Bros don't steal other bros' boats. You sure as hell don't steal a bro's woman and his boat. I bet Jack Parsons had a lot of really bad things to say about L. Ron Hubbard. I wonder. Okay, you internet sleuths out there. Does Jack Parsons have some book, some autobiography that he wrote where he just talks mad smack about L. Ron Hubbard? Because if so, that's a whole series of videos me and Mark got to do. By the way, I'm still dedicated. Mark my words. Some of you guys write this down, email me about this, harass me about this. I am fully dedicated to doing a reenactment of the last deposition of David Miscavige. And I was thinking about this morning. If none of you guys, by you guys, I mean Mark and Mike and Claire, if you guys don't want to reenact this with me, I'm going to play every role. And what I was thinking about this morning, I have to figure out how am I going to film it if I'm going to play the role of every person in the deposition. I've got to figure out how to do it like cinematographically. I don't know how to say. I grew up in a cult, you guys. But I'm dedicated to that. Just saying. I'm rambling at this point. Kat and Maggie, if you chose to expand the bobblehead line, Claire's needs to have rooted hair along with Leah's. I'm a simple man who grew up in a cult. I don't know what rooted hair means. I'm assuming that the bobblehead manufacturing people are already experts in how to make likenesses of the human face, and they cannot make a rendering of Leah Remini that does not look like Hulk Hogan. These people have no concept of what a female face looks like. So we'll have to get it figured out eventually. Or maybe we just do really masculine versions of Leah and Claire. Now, Leah will never approve that, but maybe Maybe Claire will. Oh, we're having way too much fun. Okay, Kevin, do you think LRH looked at members as suckers or as people that really got it? Does Davey look at them the same way? Looking forward to the podcast. I think LRH did not look at people as suckers. I don't think Miscavige does either. And to leave you with a little teaser, I go into detail about why I believe this in my interview that I did with the Super Famous podcast in Austin. So stay tuned. All right, Evelyn, I think Reckless Ben is aware of you reviewing his videos he did on Scientology Undercover. I think he's grateful for it. Well, Evelyn, I know he's aware. And do you know how I know? It's not just my OT powers, okay? It's that Reckless Ben has commented on the videos that I have done reacting to his videos. So I know that he is aware, and I'm glad that he's grateful for it, because I always feel a little bad using other people's content to make content, but it really is win-win. So I'm glad. If he's glad, then I'm glad. Mark's back. It's harder for the state or city to mess with historic buildings. Oh, so this is Mark commenting on why Scientology purchases and rehabs old buildings instead of building new buildings. It's hard for the state or city to mess with historic buildings. That's a great answer. Great answer. Bat Goat, thank you for that, Bat Goat. Much appreciated. I think I'm, oh wait, another one? Damn, Bat Goat's on fire. Okay, Adiel. Adiel, that's a nice name. Adiel. What do you tell your children about their grandparents that won't associate with you? And how do you explain Scientology to them? Oh, boy. You almost got me there. You're not going to make me break. Oh. So they're old enough now. My girls are 16, 14, and 12. Now, I was already working full-time for a human trafficking cult at that age. But, you know, they are old enough to be very advanced thinkers. We've been talking to them about this bit and piece since 2014. I'm not good at math, you guys. What is it now? 2023, 9 years. They know that Scientology is the reason they can't see their grandparents or their aunts or their uncles or their cousins. They understand that. So we haven't had to really explain it to them more than a couple times because they've been living it for the last 9 years. And I've only explained Scientology to them once. And I gave them the Steelman explanation of Scientology. I explained Scientology to them the way a Scientologist would explain it to them. And then I explained to them how it gets all messed up. And that's the exact same conversation I had on the podcast that I did with the Super Famous podcast in Austin that I sure hope it would come out soon, but we'll see. Thank you so much for that. Navigator 1, and thank you so much. Let's see. It's 11:40. My wife's probably wondering where the hell am I, but that's okay. We're having fun. Heather Smith, practically the name of my wife right there. You couldn't have scripted this better. Okay. Perhaps Scientologist spies are the ones who are reporting your videos and getting them demonetized. You know what? You're probably right. You are probably correct. And that's okay. It's a good thing neither one of us are actually doing this for the money. Okay. Love it. 3 activated charcoal pills before bed and no hangover. You know, for me, I'm a simple man. I just need a lot of water and Advil, no hangover. But I've never tried the activated charcoal, honestly, because water and Advil just does it for me. But that's really good advice. Denver Stevo, Dodge Landisman is our new Tony O. You could not be more correct. You could not be more correct. Dodge Landisman is our new Tony O. Okay, Scott Davidson, should I tell my auditor? Should I tell my auditor about my gay COB? Oh, that deserves a drink before I even read it. Oh God, that spiced grape juices. Should I tell my auditor about my gay COB dreams? Don't do it. Keep it to yourself. Just make that needle FN, get out of that session. Don't admit to the gay COB dreams. You'll be declared instantly. Oh my God. Oh wait, I saw Mark again. Hold on. I saw James again too. Hold on. Depot Renact. We can wear masks and do it as a live. Okay, I wish I knew what exactly he was talking about. You know what? James Hunsinger, you son of a bitch. We have to do an interview. You and I have to do an interview on my channel. Text me, message me if you don't have my number. Sydney Watson does the different character thing. Her YouTube channel is a good resource. Sydney does do that, and she's adorable, so she does it really well. I'm not sure I can pull it off. I could probably pull it off. I think I could. But James, we got to do an interview if you're up for it. So shoot me a message. We're doing that reenactment. We are, because it is hilarious. I'm talking about the reenactment of David Miscavige's deposition, where the lawyer keeps calling him Captain Miscavige, and Miscavige keeps throwing a freaking fit at being called Captain Miscavige. It's like a Monty Python comedy skit. It's absolutely hilarious. And the only way it could be even more hilarious is with me and Mark reenacting this thing with a supporting cast of Claire Headley and anyone else that we can rope into doing this thing. In fact, James Hunsinger, maybe you can come on and do it with us. That would be absolutely amazing. Okay, Heather, use Andrew Gold, Zach, Poe, Gold. Yes, brilliant. All of us together will reenact the deposition of David Miscavige. It will break the internet. Pamela Crawford, they could do the female bobblehead with a 3D machine, right? But they don't. These bobbleheads are not made with 3D printing. They're actually made by hand, and they're hand painted. Well, wait, made by hand doesn't make a lot of sense. There has to be a mold of some kind, but they're hand painted. And for some reason, they all come out looking like John Cena. It's insane. Okay, Anish Singh, thank you. I do not know what that amazingly obscure currency is, but it's brilliant and I love it. So thank you. One Curious Owl, again, thank you for your comments on the house. I won't go now. Oh, to Camelback. Excellent. Yeah. Oh, please don't go. It's absurd. Okay. Michelle Nelson. The Church of Scientology in St. Paul, Minnesota used to be the Science Museum of Minnesota. How's that for irony? It is. It's ironic. It's also very unfortunate because the Church of Scientology of the Twin Cities or Minnesota or whatever the hell they call it cannot pay its electric bill most months of the year because it's such a freaking huge property. It's absolutely insane. Miscavige has screwed everybody. Okay, guys, we did it. I caught up. We hit the 2-hour mark. It couldn't have been more perfectly timed. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do this every Scientology After Dark. And maybe I'll actually rope Mark into doing this with me for a portion of the segment next week. Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for watching and listening. Thank you for everyone who watches until the very end. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.